Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today I'm going to be doing a quick guide for the Escalation 15 challenge against Banesword Sephiroth. I've been mostly doing just gameplay clears, but I figured if I just jumped on and I didn't turn on the camera, it'd be pretty chill for me to just basically take you guys through the fight. The fight at E15 is not really that difficult overall. I would say that 20 is probably doable for, I would say, a decent amount of people, and 15 I would say is doable for a good chunk of people. And the nice thing about doing E15 is that you can go to the exchange and you can pick up these premium draw tickets, right? So every time there's an escalation challenge, we can pick up 5 of these, and you need 300 to pick them up, which is essentially clearing all the way to E15. So that is what you guys want to be doing every single time, is at least getting to E15, and then you can kind of push forward just to go for the extra crystals and rewards, etc. Alright, so that being said, let's get into the team for the Sephiroth fight here today. Alright, so we're going to be fighting Banesword Sephiroth. The battle effects are ally physical attack, 70%, enemy ailment when wave begins, he becomes weak to thunder, and ally attack down tiers to others +1. Alright, so you're going to get an extra break on what you can break, and an elemental weakness to lightning. Now, as for Sephiroth himself, you can see he has no weakness except for that bonus lightning one, no resistances, no recommended sigils, no damage sigils, so you don't need to worry about any of that stuff with the materia. There is a physical attack down immunity, so characters like Matt, Red 13, who have their limit breaks that can break physical attack will be strong. I didn't pull for Matt's limit break banner weapon, and so I will be running Aerith. We won't have a limit break physical attack down, but in this fight you don't really need it. Alright, so Sephiroth himself uses many powerful physical and magic attacks, unleashes Lightning Storm when force gauge magic power is filled to a certain amount, so essentially you're trying to keep that force gauge down as much as possible throughout the fight to reduce his DPS. Use of the ability depletes the gauge. Potency of Raging Flow increases when target is debuffed, inflicts magic defense down with Telluric Fury, and water resistance down with Torrential Thrust. Alright, so we are going to be speccing for magic defense up primarily, and yeah. Alright, so let's get into it. So the team here today is Cloud, Aerith, and Sid. If I show you guys my roll streams on them, I have Cloud at 29, I have Aerith at 29, and I have Sid at 20 right here. Alright, just to give you guys an idea. Now at the front end right here for Cloud, I'm just running, lightning potency materias and 1 physical attack potency materia. For Aerith, she's kind of a mix between magic defense and healing. And then for Sid, he's just basically pure magic defense. Alright, and then as for the weapons, I'm basically just running, the typical lightning costume with Cloud. So, none of the new banners, anything like that. He's still holding up just fine, at least for this fight. And then I'm also running the Locksword right here, but you could run the Bahamut Greatsword instead if you didn't have this one, and that is going to work just fine. For the magic defense buff, we're going to have the Commodore Wand right here, which also gives physical attack all to the party, which is great. Aerith is going to be our Imperiler here with the Riot Blade from Terra. So if you can't run Aerith, you're going to need an Imperiler somewhere. So there are a bunch of different teams that you guys can put together for this. I recommend Dramino's video. If you check the promotion channel in our Discord in the link below, you can find it. Also, Janelle has a great video as well. So there's a bunch of great players out there that are putting up videos. So if I don't have necessarily the team you guys can make, there's definitely something out there. Now, last but not least, for Sid, we do have his Rocket Lance right here for the Enfeeble. And then importantly right here, we have this Pole Axe, which is going to give us physical attack and magic attack break. Obviously, Sephiroth is immune to physical attack breaks. We're going to be going magic attack break here, which is going to work just fine throughout the fight. As for the limit breaks, we have the Hyper Jump right here, Breath of the Earth, and then for Cloud, the Thunderbolt, or Judgment Bolt from Ramuh right here. Alright, now let's take a look at the back end of the characters. Alright, so for stats here, we have Cloud 18k, 12k physical attack, 204 magic defense, about a 187 physical defense, which I would say was more than enough for this fight, guys. As for the sub-weapons, I have the Ultimatic right here. Okay, we have the Ceremonial Sword Z from Zack, and then we have the Crystal Gloves right here for the major HP boost, just to get Cloud a little bit more tanky. Now moving over to Aerith, she's sitting at a whopping 26,000 HP. Definitely don't need that much. I would shoot for like 15k and above. Physical defense 181, magic defense 322, and healing 4.4k. We've got the double magic defense sub weapons right here, and then Centipede to just give her a little buff duration and healing. And last but not least, we have Sid Highwind, 18k HP, 8k physical attack, 172 physical defense, 354 magic defense. We've got another magic defense all weapon right here, and then 2 physical attack all sub-weapon stat sticks, essentially. So that is going to basically make up the team. That being said, let's get into the fight. Alright guys, so here we are going into the fight itself against Banesword Sephiroth. Super cool seeing him in that costume. It is a pretty fun fight, but overall pretty chill, especially at E15. Alright, so we're going to be in manual right here. We're going to turn this off at the beginning. I'm just going to wait a little bit on Aerith, hit Spiritual Harmony. Sid is going to go for the D-Break, and Cloud is going to buff his Lightning Potency. Then we're just going to basically sit here and wait for this first attack. It's a pretty simple fight, guys, overall. Like, I think that most people probably won't need the guide, but I figured I would put one out. Alright, so there you go. Now we're going to heal once right here. Okay, and then we're going to go for the Enfeeble. I'm going to go for the Jubilation, and then the Riot Blade. And we're going to start doing some damage here. Alright, so there it is. Alright, we are perfectly set up, and we're just gonna get cracking right here. So we're just trying to keep that magic power bar down as much as possible here, guys. As you can see, he's not doing like a crazy amount of damage in any way. We can't break his physical attack right there, but it is what it is. It's not a crazy thing. He alternates between physical and magic damage, so, and I would say his magic damage is the tougher one to look out for. Alright, here we go. Alright. Just keep breaking that bar, slowly whittling him down. As you guys can see for the fits, I got the Monster Hunter fit right here. We got the original Aerith costume, and then Sid's free one right there. So, pretty psyched. Alright, here we go. Also using the Event Sword on Cloud, which is, I think it's a really cool looking weapon. Alright, here we go. We're going to keep on going. Just keep everything, keep whittling away. The storm clouds disappear. Okay. Alright, here comes the Ardent Flare. So we're just going to cast the Spiritual Harmony, make sure that we have our magic defense buff up. Prepared for this. We will block it right here. So we're pretty much good to go. Alright, sweet. So as you guys can see, basically did like no damage whatsoever. We're going to go to the Riot Blade, into the Jubilation, into the Thunderstrike with Cloud, and the Enfeeble with Sid. And then we're just going to drop the overspeeds right here, and the fight is about to be done. So as you guys can see, overall, pretty chill fight. We'll end with the summons, you know, for the climactic finish, but it's a pretty overall chill fight, I would say. I think that, you know, it might be hard just depending on how long you've been playing to like put together a team comp, but the boss itself is not super hard, and that's what I think is the most important thing about this. So all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide today. Let me know if you guys enjoy this format. I know that I don't have the camera on, but it's a lot easier for me to sometimes just drop these quick guides, and I feel like you guys would prefer me talking in the video than not at all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this guide today. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. Thank you guys for everything, all the support. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care, and peace.